Shalom, we're the brothers out of GMS ATL, giving all praise to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. All right, double honors to the apostles, the elders that rule well, and also Shalom to all the Akedim that are pushing out this truth with sincerity. All right, coming at you with another lesson. Basically, the Spirit has us going into pretty much just the current condition of Jake. All right, and their conditions in America, the living conditions, and how this was really all set up for punishment, from the Most High, and just the oppression that and the hell that Jake is going through right now. So we're pretty much just gonna go with the Spirit, bring out some precepts, and you got some.
This is Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Like the scripture say, arise ye, and it's talking about spiritually, man. Because like we just now saying, this place is an area of oppression and depression. Since the Negro, Latino, and Native American has been under the hands of the so-called white man. It was a time where the Latinos and Native Americans touching them, in particular when they was living in this place, and it was paradise, man. It was it was abundance of resources. You had all kind of exotic animals dwelling in this place. Sicknesses was at an all-time low. And if people were sick they would have different healings and the right way of conducting. But since we got up under the captivity of the so-called white man, it's been hell, man.
Not only that, but Jake was able to dwell amongst each other.
Yeah.
Without problems.
Well, Jake had certain contentions, but for the most part, it was better than being under the so-called white man. All right.
That's right.
We was like the brother says, certain, like even Gad, certain tribes, they was in unification, and we was doing all right. But after being under this so-called white man, the oppression increased. All right. So arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Because this place is destroying us, man. The food that you eat, the water that you drink, anything that's supposed to give you life is in turn sucking it away from you, man.
That's right.
Your woman, your kids, everything is meant or constructed strategically by the so-called white man to take you down, man. All right. So I got
something else.
Yeah. Isaiah 51:14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. And that's us, man. We the captives in this Babylonian captivity, this last captivity. And as a captive, your mindset should be always on getting the hell up out of this prison.
Right.
Doing anything you can to get up out of this prison, And what the Most High requires to get up out of this prison is praying, fasting, getting your spirit right, getting in unification with the brotherhood. And the Most High is going to take you out of here. Because the scriptures say in Deuteronomy 28:68, which I get also, that no man shall save you. The only person that can save you out of this slavery is YAHAWASHI.
Right.
All right? If you want to say
yeah,
something.
Because, that's what we have to rely on is Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. All right, because that's going to be our ultimate key out of this place, man. So that's why we do this thing. That's why we continue to pray and do the work with diligence, man. Because Lord willing, we make it out this thing. All right.
All right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Matter of fact, I'm gonna jump to 68 first. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right, because that key word in there is shall bring you into Egypt again with ships, and that's how you know that's talking about the so-called Jews, the so-called the southern kingdom of Israel, which are the Negroes. I mean, I'm sorry, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which are the Negroes, Haitians, and Dominicans.
Jamaicans.
Oh, Jamaicans. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And what was you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
Salaki, I'll reread that though.
Yeah, kind
of. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there shall ye be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. I just want to jump up a couple verses up. Verse 48, because, as brothers know, we under the curses, man. And these curses is hitting us unto this day. A lot of guys will say, when you come in this truth, the curses is released. Nah, these curses only released when you're released out of this captivity, man. All right, when YAHAWASHI finally cracks them shackles off of you. Because even though we got out of slavery, physical chains, we still got those mental chains. We still bound by those mental chains, all right? So I'll read this, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
That's right, and that's what we're doing. We're serving our enemies, right? Because we're under the system of this so-called white man. Right? We're under his authority. We're under,
his jurisdictions.
His jurisdictions, right? And also not only the so-called white man, but these other nations. Right? We're under, how do I say, we're under them financially, right? Because we rely on them for everything,
right?
Pretty much.
And how these different nations profit too is not through treating us right. They more so generate income from doing us wrong, man. All right, selling us drugs, putting us in slavery. Generating money off of manual labor. Or labor, doing anything it takes to build their kingdom. Because if you build something, you have to have somebody getting doing the labor, which puts somebody in slavery. Somebody has to get oppressed in order for somebody to flourish. All right, that's just how the system works. And we are the people that's being under oppressed for the so-called white man to excel. All right, and you see it. These different white people have these multi-million-dollar mansions. They don't even get it from hard work. A lot of them receive it through inheritance. All right? And it even goes all the way back from slavery times, man. Generational wealth, as they call it. And we carry generational debt. All right?
That's right. And if I could bring this out, that the points you were making, that brings me into my article. Did you want to finish up on that real quick?
Well, yeah. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. That's it.
That's right. So, that's his ultimate goal, is to destroy you as a people. All right, and to systematically, because scriptures say that Esau has a perpetual hatred.
That's right.
These heathens and Esau, they constantly, want to put you down, abase you. All right. So, with that in mind, man, you have to rely on the Most High and His Son. You have to, because there's no other way that we can make it out this thing, because everything is all odds are against you as a so-called Jake in America. All odds are against you.
That's right.
All right. But what we were bringing out just a second ago brings me to this article. All right, and I just searched, black oppression in America, and it came up. This is off the Odyssey online. All right, I'm just gonna skim through it. Um, let me see. Even though let me see. For example, currently in the U.S., black poverty rates are the highest out of any rates in the country, with a quarter barely surviving and in dire need of basic needs. You hear that? So a quarter, that's 1 out of 4 Jakes. All right, and really, they're quoting African Americans, but let's go ahead and just say all of Jake. Um, For example, let's see, a quarter barely surviving and in dire need of basic needs, man. That's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot. 1 out of 4 is barely surviving, man.
Yeah.
And it's probably more than that. It's probably more than that, you
Yeah.
know.
They say majority of the Americans, which mainly are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that they refer to in a lot of these statistics.
Mm-hmm.
But they said that they're living paycheck to paycheck.
That's right.
You know. That's
You can't. Compared to less than 10% of whites, so-called whites, living below the poverty line. So you see that? You see that difference? So why is there such a giant gap between these groups? Firstly, the black community, which we know it's really all through the spirit. But firstly, the black community seems to unfortunately dominate many low income housing markets, which in return creates a path of cyclical poverty among that specific faction. With low income communities comes along with a poor education system, not being able to foster growth.
Right. And if I can say something with the education system, that's why you have private schools and like the brother said, regular education systems, which our education systems are low, and the teachings that they give us is basically false teachings, man.
That's right.
They'll have you learn about Greek mythology. They'll have you learn about false sciences when they should, if they really wanted you as a people to grow, they should teach you how to till the land,
Mm-hmm.
teach you different things about economics, understanding how currency works, understanding credit. Those are the things that you were actually really supposed to learn, which we know at the end of the day, we could give a fuck less about this place. We want this place to fall, but that's just an example of how you know that this place is designed to destroy us, man.
That's right.
When you go to the school system, it's nothing but basically fuckery, man, because we've been there.
Homework, busy work,
Yeah.
really just busy work, man.
Just work just to let you pass by, and they want you to do all this stuff, and when you come home, you come into an impoverished house, knowing more than likely your father or your mother's gone, and the parent that you have is currently on drugs. So how can you prosper in a place that's set up for your doom? And then everything you turn on TV is basically portraying blacks as the lowest people there is, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, or the Israelites,
That's right.
So everything is basically tailored to take you down as a people. You can keep going, though.
With low income comes along with a poor education system, not being able to foster growth and encouragement that many of these at-risk youth so fiercely need. A lot of them aren't given the right tools outside of their already broken homes, just like the brother said, to go out and create something better for themselves. So just like that saying, Jake gets stuck in the ghetto, all right, stuck in the hood,
Right.
and never make it out the hood. That saying, that's pretty much what happens, man. A lot of these so-called hoods, they're like crabs in a bucket, crabs and they're trying to claw their way out. But really, the only way out is either through so-called. Really, we know the only way out of this place is through YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. But as far as making it out of the hood, the only way a Jake can get out is either through basketball or rapping or probably in few cases school.
Yeah.
But you know. But like it says they aren't given the right tools, all right, outside their home, outside their already broken homes, to go out and create something better for themselves, and in return fall back into the routine of crime that they are constantly surrounded by growing up. So they have no choice but to rely on crime, really.
Yeah, and it's being promoted in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just like on TV, you have different advertisements, certain things for you to purchase on commercials.
Mm-hmm.
When you turn on the TV and they talk about selling drugs and killing each other, that's a promotion, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're doing is promoting criminal activity throughout the Black, Hispanic, and Native American dwelling quarters. So how can you rise as a people from that? There's no way, man. And then on top of that, like the brother was saying, the income, say for instance, you get a job in your local area, you're not gonna get a high-end job. You're not gonna get a business type of job like the white man would get. All right, so-called white man gets a job, probably starting off damn 70,000 a year, and he's gonna gradually increase.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you start off with a job, I don't know what minimum wage is, probably $8 an hour. You're making a couple $100 a week. You can't do shit with that, man. You know. You keep on.
Many of these kids do not have strong role models in their lives, which is a father. All right, which this all goes back to the curses, which falls back onto them looking towards negative influences such as gangs to replace those absent figures. With this, it also conceives an unfavorable stigma about blacks being thugs or criminals, which is only brought on because we as a society are doing it to them. Which really, who's that we? The person writing this article is more than likely Edomite.
Yeah.
All right, so really, Esau is doing it. All right, through his system. This system was designed to keep you down. That's just how it was designed, man.
And going back, just making another point too about the music. When you listen to rap music, even with women rap, man, majority of the women will talk about how niggas ain't shit, or the Negro in turn he'll say certain foul shit about selling drugs and killing each other. But when you turn it on the white man station, you don't hear nothing like that. You don't, man. Give me a song where on the country station where a white man talking about fucking killing another white man, or rock and roll, and goop music, any type of music outside of Black, Hispanic, and Native American music, it doesn't talk about that, man. So that shows you that this place is just designed to kill us as a people.
All right. We have to fight to stand up and fight the oppressors with them and see that see they're going off with that. Because they start talking about Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin. Fuck them though. But I think that's pretty much it on that article. But I mean, you get the point though. I mean, everything in this society was I mean, we weren't put here to prosper, man. We were brought here to serve slavery. And when you look on a timeline, matter of fact, you had a preset. I was gonna look something up. But when you look at a timeline, slavery really wasn't that long ago, man.
No, it wasn't. And the effects of slavery is still pending, or basically still brought upon us. Let me go back to that Deuteronomy. Excuse me. Going back to Deuteronomy 28, and I'll start at 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And that's talking about the so-called white man. A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. And it's talking about us as Israelites, man. It happened during the times of slavery, and it's happening to the times now, man. You'll see these different cases on TV where the cops will shoot a Negro down. They'll be 80 years old or 8. It don't matter. The so-called white man is gonna, he's not gonna show no mercy or favor, like the scriptures say. All right. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, nor wine, nor oil, or the increase of the kind of the flocks of sheep until he hath destroyed thee. And I had this one article because there was a point that they made in a previous article we had read where it was talking about how the community, so-called Black, Latino, and Native American community, how it's just fucked up. More so in the household too. And this is the federal scheme to destroy father-child relationships. Congress would fain admit its own dubious contributions to the suffering of America's children. Rather, these politicians promulgate the myth that they are helping children through federal and state welfare, entitlement programs. It is in fact these very programs which are responsible for the out-of-control rampage against children. Here is how the scam works. The federal government levies taxes against citizens to redistribute as welfare entitlements among needy applicants. Congress created the Social Security Act, a section of which is called Title 4. Title 4 describes how tax dollars will be distributed among the states to subsidize their individual welfare programs. In order for states to tap into the federal treasury chest containing billions of dollars, they must demonstrate that they are complying with Title 4 mandates to collect child support revenues. In other words,
they have to be qualified.
That's right. In other words, to get money from the federal government, each state must become a child support collection and reporting agency. And it's a lot to this article, but I'll read another passage and probably end it on that because that basically puts everything in a nutshell about the article. Every unwed or single mother seeking welfare assistance must disclose on her application the identities of their fathers or her children and how much child support the father has been ordered by a family court to pay. So, I'll just keep going. She must also commit to continuously reporting the father's payment so that the state can count the money as collected to the federal government Office of Child Support Enforcement. As with all bureaucracies, this process has developed into a monstrosity that chews up and spits out the very people it was designed to help. And that's mainly in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. When you look at it statistically, the main people on child support is us, man. And the so-called father is basically, like I said, has to pay child support. He's under that whip of the so-called white man. And they're not doing it through love or trying to be genuine to help. They're doing it so that they could generate more revenue. All right? Showing that at the end of the day, when you unveil the so-called white man, he always has an ulterior motive, man. Everything that's being portrayed in front of your eyes is not what it is, man. The so-called white man is your damn enemy. Everything he does is for the oppression of you, to take you down, as an individual and as a people, man. All right. So let me see. Read a little bit more. States have huge financial incentives to increase the amount of child support it can report to the federal government as collected. To increase collection efforts, states engage in the immoral practice of dividing children from their fathers in family courts. Have you ever wondered why family courts award custody to mothers in 80 to 90% of all custody cases, even when the father is determined to be just as suitable a parent? It is because the amount of child support ordered by the state is largely determined by how much time the child spends with each parent. This means that the state collects less child support if parents share equal custody. By prohibiting fathers from having equal custody and time with their children, the state child support coffers are increased and federal dollars are revived. So they generate more money in the separation of the household. And they coined that term deadbeat dad on the so-called black community mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Because majority of
it's a buzzword.
Yeah, it's a buzzword. So before the man will have opportunity to even take care of his child and show that he's proven a worthy dad, the woman will already
have that
image,
right.
Have that image already developed on him, and she already premeditating on putting him on child support, man.
Mm-hmm.
Which is further oppression, because everything is issued from the top on down. It has a trickling effect. So who's the one that's managing and constructing everything to be like how it is? The so-called white man. Going back to the government. And when you look up that term government, govern is the rule, and ment is a mentality, your mind, the ruling of your mind.
Yeah, that's right. And if I could say this, on this side, you got a lot of Jakes. You got a lot of Jakes that look down on having children. All right, you got a lot of Jakes. They're proud to not have children. Like on social media, you got a lot of posts. I'm 25 with no children, and that's supposed to be a good thing. Jake glorifies in not having children, and that's a big thing. But really, that's a curse, man.
Yeah, it is a curse.
That's a curse, because you're supposed to, the Most High told Abraham that his seed shall be many, shall be the sands of the sea. So Jake is supposed to be vast. Jake is supposed to be a huge nation.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to not want to have seed, and that's a real curse on us.
Got some?
Yeah, I got some. This Isaiah 59:2. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you,
right,
that he will not hear.
And that's us, man. A sin upon sin. That separates us in the power that we serve. And the only way to get things right is to repent and come back to the power. Come back to your power source.
Mm-hmm.
To bring back life. All right? And in due time, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, mainly YAHAWASHI and the angels, that's going to be the savior, man. But it starts off now.
That's right. It
starts off by getting your spirit right in these scriptures, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we bringing out example on top of example of how this place is designed to kill us. So this is your only life source, man. This truth. You got some more.
Well, I got another precept. I guess whenever we're getting ready to close, I could bring it out.
All right. Well, I'll read this before, and then you can. This is 2 Ezra 11:42. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed their dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy
right. So that's unjust. Go ahead.
Therefore is thy wrong for dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed, and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. And that was talking about the Roman Empire then, but the wings came back. All right, this society is still erected to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta do what the scriptures say, man. This is the only way this place to go down is teaching this word and fighting against this place through the spirit. Everything the so-called white man has set up to kill us, you got to turn that around and expose him as the devil he is.
That's
all right.
That's right.
But you got something to close it with.
It's Revelations 18:4. And I have heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So just like the brother said, you know, um, we gotta come out of this thing, man.
And it's only for the elect, just
that's right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Remember her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works in the cup which she hath filled to her double. Right? And that's how I get that.
That's basically the Most High going to get this white man for everything that he done unto us.
That's right.
All the oppression, putting us on drugs, having us kill each other, destroying us as a people, culturally, physically, spiritually. The Most High going to recompense that, for our sakes, because we are the chosen of BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, the Israelites. All right? And it's, like I said earlier, it's mainly for the elect, because that's who the Most High's eye is really towards. So, we want to end it by, giving our praises to BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Maki.
Shalom.